En la segunda parte de nuestro viaje JDM a la ciudad de Gainesville, Florida, conocimos el Toyota Chaser Tourer V y el Silvia S15 Spec-S de nuestro amigo Ricky, quien nos cuenta lo afortunado que es al poder manejar dos autos icónicos del mundo JDM. En esta tercera parte conocemos a Justin, un fanático de los Toyota 86, el cual decide dar el brinco a la plataforma 1JZ Turbo.
Hi, my name is Justin. This is my 2000 Toyota Chaser. I bought it middle of last summer. Pretty much wanted one for a while, and this kind of popped up, and I had the opportunity to get it. I got it with some pretty light mods, and before I even took delivery of it, I had already put the Origin Aero kit on it, and had already started picking out some small mods for it. I was really particular because there's only two colors that I really prefer on these cars, being the pearl white and the dark mica green. So this just popped up from a friend of mine, and I pretty much just had to have it because I've had a couple 1JZ powered cars before, but this is my first opportunity to really have like the real deal, and I've been looking to get out of my habit of just staying in 86s because I've had, what is it now, it's something like 7 86s, a bunch of coupes, a couple of hatches. I just really don't like a whole lot of other cars because of the driving feel, and got to drive my friend's JZX100 3-4 years ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And it really pretty much, like, that car got me into, messing with JZs. I JZ swapped an 86 shortly after that. I just got familiarized with everything, and then I started looking into how I could get one of these. The JZX100 is the chassis code for these cars. The JZX100s were made from 96 through 2000. So there's a couple of different body styles. There's the Chaser, which is what I have. There's the Mark II, which is it's a little bit more sleek, a little bit more stylish. It was actually more of the car that would be used for, say, taxis or just like the general public. Whereas the Chaser, especially the Tourer V model, it was more sports oriented. It was meant to be more fun and more aggressive. And then there's the cheaper car, which is the Cresta, which only, it's a small group of people that are really into those. It's just kind of, it's styled a little different, and it's the economy version of the car, essentially. Yeah, you can get all of them. All of them are a JZX100 chassis. The chassis is actually an X100. The JZX, meaning that it has a JZ engine, because there's also variants of the cars that have a Toyota G Series engine, so those are GX100 cars. With it being a 2000, this actually has the nicer interior. It's an S2, which is late production model 99 through 2000. So it came with slightly nicer interior, the factory aero was a little bit nicer. Pretty much that's about it in between the older one and the newer. It's got a pretty simple build on it right now. It just has some big brakes. Just upgraded to a steel wheel turbo because the stock ones, they kind of just explode. Now has an external wastegate and a boost controller in it. Makes some pretty decent power and some great sounds. To a BMW 6-speed transmission, has a Collins adapter kit in it, has a crazy aggressive ACD clutch in it. It's built for business, but I daily drive this car. it's just too enjoyable to leave it parked, because I didn't really plan to drive it nearly as much as I do, because I have a couple of other cars, but this is really just kind of stolen my heart, and I really, really love this thing a lot. I've done a couple drift days in it. Pretty much the perfect car to go out. It doesn't really require a whole lot of modifications to go out and have a ton of fun in this thing, because it makes a little over 300 horsepower. You know, already had a limited slip diff and coilovers, so this is actually my first right-hand drive car I bought. So the first event I drove in this, I was absolutely terrified, and I was really shocked at how well it drove. It's super, super fun, very stable, a lot more than I expected the car to be. Because normally whenever I go buy a car, I look at it and, you know, I already know what kind of modifications are going to be needed to really enjoy it. And this was a whole new thing for me. So I just took it out as it was, because I didn't really plan to drift it. I just kind of planned to take it out to meet, and, you know, really I wanted to make it a show car, because there's not very many of them here, and it's a little bit too much of an expensive car for me to be drifting in. I've changed my mind on that a little bit, because it's just really great with just very minimal mods. I've pretty much just done some basic interior upgrades in it. It has a touchscreen stereo, and pretty much just changed out the steering wheel. It has a full custom 2.5-inch straight pipe exhaust with an external wastegate. It's a tile 44mm wastegate that just sets open dump, and so this thing's really obnoxious whenever I'm driving it hard. It is really, really awesome. It's got a J-pipe delete, front mount intercooler. It's got the Gretic boost controller in it currently, and that's just about it for performance stuff. It has a Rotora big brake kit from a JZ80 Supra. Some Work Kiwami wheels on it, and just Origin Aero. Just pretty much kept it super simple. And the car actually came on some really cool coilovers. It has Rush coilovers on it, which they're not a very common brand, at least stateside. I haven't dynoed the car yet. I'm planning on, I have an air fuel controller and everything just kind of sitting on the shelf waiting to go in. That it should be a little over 300, maybe about 320 wheel horsepower. It's on 12 pounds of boost, and I've had a bunch of other 1JZs now that pretty much they all make about 310 to 320 on 12 pounds, so that's where I would assume it's at. I'm planning on putting the air fuel controller in it and turning the boost up a little bit. Getting a dyno tuner and everything. I'm hoping that with the steel wheel turbo upgrade, I'm going to put it on, 16 to 17 psi. This kind of shooting for like about 350 at the wheel, maybe 360. Just a little bit more for now. The power band in this thing, as it is even completely stock, is phenomenal. Stock, it has pretty much no boost lag. It's very, very responsive, which makes it extremely fun to drive. I want to build another JZX100 for a track car as well. Make something crazy out of it that when I drive it on the street, it's still, other than people that really know what the car is, it'll be a complete sleeper. Because there's just something that I found really enjoyable with this is, to the average person that's not into cars, when you see this going down the road, you either don't know what it is, or some people that kind of know cars think it's a BMW or something like that. They don't expect it to be, something that has over 300 horsepower. And with how big the car is, it's surprisingly light. It's just over 3,000 pounds. So it's decently quick.